Good morning, you are watching I'm Ultimate's coverage of Australia versus Colombia mixed division in a very important game in their pool. This is between A2 Australia and A3 Colombia in their pool, as mentioned. Hope you are enjoying the game this morning, or wherever we find you. Afternoon if you're in Europe, or evening if you're in East Asia, and morning if you are in Colombia, and as well as a number of other places here in North America. We're coming from York University in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And a turnover there. This is Colombia's on D here, and they had created it one turn on a huck. Max Halden picks up the disc, swings it, looking for options here in the end zone. It is a very windy day. It's actually about as windy as it was yesterday night, if not windier. And you can see it as the disc floats. And Australia pull it down to make it 1-0. Really an expectation there that they would make it, considering started with a point, going downwind. It's been tough though. There have been plenty of teams that have been unable to execute. If you are having issues, please let me know. During timeouts and halftime is when I will go down. I do want to get this game recorded, so I'm not going to be doing as much watching of or ensuring that the stream is working. I am here by myself today. Rose was here yesterday. I am, however, flying solo today, so one person running up and down a ladder several times a day can lead to some delays. So Australia up 1-0. They're in yellow on your screen, and Colombia opting to wear black. It is a cold morning. Earlier today, probably about an hour ago, it was, or 2 hours ago, it was 12 degrees Celsius. It is now about 15, 16, and with the wind chill, much colder. Australia coming out with a zone. Colombia looking to huck, and this one, he does have speed, but unfortunately overthrown. If you do have any comments, please feel free to send me an email live at imultimate.com or on Twitter, I am Ultimate. Colombia going with a wall. 3 ladies in the wall. And now there's 4 handlers back for Australia, and they're all gentlemen. So we're seeing a mismatch where we're going to possibly be able to move it through the wall for Australia, and then downfield it's going to be very difficult because of the height mismatch. And a piece on that, but foul called. Coming in on 2, that is contested. A lot of issues here, need to move it. And Australia not gaining ground here, and a drop. The wind is, as I said, strong. We'll take a look at the flags on a break quickly. And as you can see, Colombia also having issues. They need to be moving this disc here. This is really one of those days where it looks like it might be a huck and pin. Speak shortly about some details Andrew Batchelor sent. Andrew Batchelor involved in Ultimate Canada and one of the competition directors and an avid fan of Ultimate. Very serious gentleman. Never smiles or laughs. Both of those statements I made are untrue, the ones about smiling and laughing. He is, however, involved in Ultimate Canada and generally a very big fan of Ultimate. And he pointed out a few important points about this game, and we'll chat about it shortly. Stuckets on the end zone here. Australia moved it upfield quite well. And now into man. And saved. Called set again. Are dropped on the end zone line. So difficult. Looking for a Huck. She's going to put it. It's high, floaty. And it's going to float out of bounds. Far down the field. And the wind just carrying it. It's a little bit unfortunate on how windy it is. Otherwise, we'd have a great game. In terms of movement, both of these teams have been very dynamic in the non-windy conditions. Australia I have not yet seen in the windy conditions. Colombia, if you were watching our live stream yesterday, they played against Chinese Taipei, and that was a long game with the wind. But a good one. Directing traffic, good to see. Colombia now. With the disc against the zone. Not any easier for them going downwind. Drop midfield. In the wind, the disc comes so quickly that even a small movement causes issues. There's a different zone now. Slightly different. The wall is shifted, and disc being able to move or popped. Oh, and just a low throw. Did not come up. The wind is different on that side of the field due to several barriers compared to here. Up top, and the wind you might hear here, up here, is actually just as strong as it is at ground level right now. Well taken. But there's a travel called further back. Regardless, that was a good save by Blue Hat. It's an anime character of some sort. On his head. And just tries to do this low pop. Everyone knows the throw that they're trying to make. Oh, and it's a floater. And it just floats long enough, but then just a throwaway caught on his hand. Some frustrations here now. Both teams, though, getting shots and getting multiple passes off. Oh, and that's score on the top, lucky in some cases. Down and running again. Into space. Calling for timeouts from the sideline, and it's not going to be taken just yet. So still 1-0 Colombia. And a turnover. And Colombia get it on the line. And 1-0. Well, sorry, I accidentally did a -1 there, but now 1-1 Colombia. Just chatting with Emilio again. He might be coming up here to provide some Spanish commentary. This is an important game, as I was saying. So Andrew Batchelor passed on that if Australia win this game, they are directly into power pools. If Colombia win this game by 15 plus points, and I believe it's GB beats Venezuela, then Colombia are into the power pools. If Colombia win by 5 or more points and Venezuela beats GB, then Colombia's into the power pools. So it's day, what is this? Day 3 of competition. We've already had a couple of good days under us. I absolutely hope today's Wednesday. Otherwise, I am really out of it. Sorry, just... On a really wide throw, Colombia get it in a good field position. Trying to move it quickly.
Let's go, Dan. Dan, stay right. Dan, stay right. Dan, stay right. Stay right. Stay right. Dan, stay right. Around, Dan.
Ball back on by Australia. And pressure being put on, but D-line, so far no errors. Good Bills. Two options deep now. Trapped again on the far sideline. Just flipping it back and forth to reset the count. Wide open over the top on the right, motioning for it. Very patient so far. And timeout called. We're going to go downstairs and just check on the stream very quickly, as well as a number of other items. Thank you.
Hey, Tusha, does this make work? This one? Yeah.
And that throw goes out the back of the end zone. And Australia now, after Colombia marched it all the way down the field and used a timeout, now going to send, are going to send it. A delayed huck. It's floating. It just bounces out of his hand, and Colombia now might send it back the other way. And I highly suspect that Australia will send it back. They have a tall receiver downfield. You might hear it on your microphone. XY. And with these wind conditions, a huck and pin strategy is probably going to be the safest. It's keeping the zone, looking for movement, but a foul called.
Go!
To man now. And the celebration, if this went in, would be phenomenal. An upwind break, very difficult to get in these conditions. Foul called. Is this another timeout? A lot of people wandering onto the field together for some reason. Stalled down, no contest. Unknown what's happening quite right now. Okay, it's a 0, not contested. Up line, floaty, batted down. One lady going deep. I don't think they're gonna risk it anymore. Oh, and a collision between two Colombian players and an Australian, and we're going to have a quick check. They are okay. Colombians have not lost too many players to injuries in this tournament. Collapsing around. Good movement. Wind has died down a little bit. It's actually died down more than a little bit. And some sort of contact again. Floaty reset, lots of space to operate in again. It's not necessarily being pushed back and then just tapped out. That was great side zone D. And they need to put it. And they do. Is it on target? Oh, if she kept going, the wind just pushed it further. And the sideline shifts back down the field for the second or third time this point. Huck the other way. This player underneath. Deed. No call. Well played. Brave play from both sides. We know, and I agree with the strategy of huck and pin. Hands are just too cold at this time. Floats it out. He had to know that was coming. How is he not hanging out deep? We're gonna. Yeah, that's a big bladey throw. Good positioning again. Good layout. It's one of those games where both of these teams are keyed in. Australia showed up to the fields an hour 20 early, warmed up. We're screaming obscenities at each other. And there's an injury probably on the follow through where a player was likely hit in the face. Coach JD from Australia also there, making sure he's okay. Coach Stefan on this sideline. Colombian players, you can see it, cold. They showed up about 30 minutes early, but then they had a good, energetic warm-up. And from the way they're playing, doesn't look like they need a long warm-up. Turn created down the field. The first time the zone has created a turn down here, but really planted outside the end zone. No options. It's gonna have to be zipped in no matter what it is. Oh, it's not, just popped in. And Australia hold to make it 2-1. If you are enjoying this game, please pass it on to your friends and family. We appreciate more company on the stream. Why? Because it's fun. That's basically it. I'm standing out here in 30-kilometer-an-hour winds, maybe gusting up to 40 and 50. On a bright, sunny day, watching Ultimate. It's not a bad day. It's a good one, actually. And I hope it's going well for you. Australia lead 2-1. No breaks in this game so far. Australians with their longer warm-up just appear to be warmer temperature-wise. The Colombians are still warming up. There's some that are used to it, the cold, but others putting on warm layers. Australians as well putting on warm layers. It is about midwinter in Australia, so perhaps temperature-wise they're used to it a little bit more. For all Aussies out there, I'd like to thank Jack Lilwell, who's been here and very helpful. I guess he's learned and been quite cultured in the Australian style. He's got a wicked sense of humor. I think that's really the Australian culture coming through there. Deep throw. It's high rising. This huck and pin strategy is now going to be adopted by the Colombians as well. And it's one I fully agree with considering the number of drops we've already had. We've seen the Australians and the Colombians move the disc down the field reasonably well. It's a riskier. Oh, I just bounced off the fingertips. You have to take these catches a little bit closer to the body. And turn. Australia need a break in the first half. This game might come down to the first team to break upwind wins it. Good speed to come back and follow through on that. And there's going to be a huck. We can see it. And this one stopped shorter. And just a little bit too much face on that disc. Possibly trapping in the corner now. And Colombia, sorry if I missed that. I thought I had panned it, but they make it 2-all. This dance very important, given the cold. We'll be popping down to check on the stream quite soon. Thank you, Anna, for the comment. Colombia needs to flow the disc. I agree, everyone needs to flow the disc. The problem is it's a very strong wind, and just the slightest lack of rotation on the disc causes it to flutter and pop. And it is a cold wind. It's from the north, as you can see these flags. We've seen them go the other way yesterday and then come straight at us yesterday. And now the wind is from the north. And it's going to be cold all day today. And this pull, it's coming right for us. Oh, unfortunately not. How great would that be if I got a disc up here? Looking for the Huck. It's over the top. In the middle. And Colombia now with the chance. Zone coming. Coach Stefan saying set it. Actually, if I may try an impression. Set it, set it, set it. I think that's about as close as I can get. Stefan, a fellow Canadian. I'm very good at impressions, in case you hadn't noticed. My impression was not as refined as his voice actually is. Wind has picked up again. Oh, and this is in a good spot. Floating it over the top again. Taken confidently. And Australia hold, and it's 3-2. Colombian players, offensive line, rushing back onto the field. Chatting a little bit about strategy. Coach discussing what should happen possibly in certain situations. I think I can almost guarantee you, though, it is going to be a huck and pin. So both lines that are going on, O-line and D-line, are essentially D-lines. And this is why a good defense is so important, why defensively good teams win. Because even in bad wind conditions, if you have excellent defense, you create those opportunities for yourself, and you can keep moving the disc, and you can just keep hucking and pinning, and just hope in many cases that the disc falls where it needs to. Now, of course, that's if you have a terrible offense, and neither of these teams do. None of the teams here have a terrible offense. So the strategy is even more effective when you have a great defense, because your turns, your opportunities on defense are more likely to convert. So this pull a little bit further, it comes down around the brick mark, or picked up around the brick mark. They're looking for a huck, yes. One option deep. And a good throw. And a lack of communication from the Australian sideline, just very quiet. And that is an issue. These teams need to be loud. They need to be telling them, listen, you have someone sneaking behind you. Listen, take another couple of steps. Don't need to jump early. And that's what happened. It almost looked like a half-hearted jump because he didn't know the player was behind him. And that is a sideline error. You can always tell when a team is getting comfortable or doing well by how loud the sideline is. And you can always kind of tell how, in many cases, how nervous a team is by how quiet the sideline is. And coaches out there, you have noticed that as well. And it's so important to keep an active sideline. Yes, it burns extra energy, but it keeps them warm. In conditions like these, you need to stay warm. Temperature check and weather check now at the fields. Temperature is 15 Celsius, feels like 14, northwest wind. Northwest wind, I will point the camera there shortly. Oh, that's a good pull. But the northwest is right there directly in that kind of area. And a huck. This is going to be a good battle. Good box out, excellent positioning. I've seen this. The player who on Australia who's deep is having a little bit of difficulty reading the disc, whereas the Colombians are doing a much better job. We've seen that with quite a few contentions downfield where the Colombians have come out on top. Next game today, I believe it will be from the Next Gen Network. I think. I'll have to double check my schedule. Might be me doing it again. Oh. And takes a huck to the gut. And not intentional at all. I hope she's okay. And she's up and about. And Australians get it in a good position. And everyone flooding in one direction. And Australia continue to hold 4-3. This is a good game. Those of you on the live stream who have been using the Ulti-Apps WU23 calendar or schedule, the time zone calculation has been removed temporarily, and we'll be back later. It's just a few more intricacies there to handle. Daylight savings time. The cruelest of inventions. A big thank you to the volunteers here.
I thought you guys would pack it up.
Just got fucked up.
So yes, Next Gen will be here soon. They're starting to set up. And looking to huck. That's the option. This one. Again, a misread. And Colombia executing very easily on these. There needs to be an adjustment from Australia. The deep D cannot be beat that badly when the same throw keeps coming. And he knows it. He's going to adjust. So taking a look at our schedule. By the way, the Next Gen folks, Kevin has arrived. So if our internet drops right now, it's something we've noticed when we get additional people around our Wi-Fi. Things start happening. I will work on it as soon as I get down. Next game at 11 will be Japan versus Colombia, women's, broadcast on the Next Gen Network. Go to ngnultimate.com to sign up now for that paid stream. So Colombia playing next in the women's division versus Japan, two powerhouse teams. Going to be looking to go strong. And important games here on day 3 of full competition of WFDF under 23. Championships. Yes, that was a delayed word there, but Colombians wearing backwards jackets to ensure that the wind, when they're walking down the sideline, doesn't come straight at them or sneak through. Puck goes up again. And it was a little bit early, but the plan is to do this pin, whereas the Colombians are hucking. And disc coming right at me. No, just fading off a little bit. And Australians making sure it goes out. Goes over the top. Oh, taken with coverage. Well taken. And a little bit of frustration from the Colombian player saying, where was the help? And this is what I've been saying. The sideline, so important here. Now, a bit of an issue with the Australian zone. The cutter going deep is the tallest, is also the person playing deep D. And this creates a hole in that transition zone where possibly, if the wall doesn't come down in time and the zone is a little bit holy, that a deep huck could go up and give Colombia great field position moving forward. And Australia has been playing a taller person forward, but the Colombians have been striking with some of their shorter players. And height is not important here. It's simply going to be a matter of who gets the disc because it is floating out the back of the end zone. Difference between the Colombians and Australian hucks as well. Australia's are going high and then trying to float down the end zone, whereas Colombia's are a little bit more flat and focus more on a player running it down. They're also lower. So a bit of a different style of ultimate for both of these teams. "45 minutes into this game, the score now 5-4, Australia leads, and the deep puller stays. He knows what's coming. Over the top, Colombia's gonna get an easy chance here, a collision. No call, and there's gonna be a call here, no call, and Colombia hold and showing that they can move it without the deep plays. Well played. And Australia going to be going with 4 ladies on offense.
I believe in you, Gary. It's okay.
It's going to be a little bit of a change in strategy. 4 ladies is going to make it harder for Colombia to move it back up the field. They've been using pretty much only the men to move the disc. In fact, both teams have been using only male handlers almost exclusively. So the pressure that's going to be put on here might be immense, but we've seen quick movement from these ladies. And you have to remember, this is a world's team. Let's see whether this pays off for Australia. Score tied at 5s. Oh, that's a nice pull. It's in a better position. And it's going man. Throw goes up. There's going to be, it floats out of bounds. And now the zone's going to go on. It's an all-lady cup and wall, or mark and wall. Big throw goes up down the field. Red, reasonably well. And now going to be looking to go deep again. They do. See, as you can see, it's going to be floating down and goes out the back. And that's the difference between how Australia's throwing it, not to a point, but letting it float down and hoping for a battle in the air. Cutter's going to go deep again. And this wall needs to be tighter and closer. And Colombia has made that adjustment, bringing in a lady handler. We know he can huck here, and he does. It's a bit bladey. 3 options. And with that height and positioning, it's very easy. He's looking to swing. Does. This one's to a point. But is there a call? No, there was just a collision. And the sidelines are crowded. Going up the side. Going Put it up over the top. Oh, and it just died. There was a huge gust of wind. It's gusting to 40 kilometers an hour now easily. Oh, and just off the hands on the wall. That's a great D. Good positioning. We have to remember though, this huck and pin strategy paying off for both teams. But it does need to convert. Australia having much more trouble converting compared to Colombia going downfield. And caught and spiked, and Australia 6-5. Australia started going downwind on the second half. The same trend shall continue. So has this game come down to simply the flip? It would be unfortunate if it does. Both teams playing well. Australia leads. It's windy, it's cold. What will the rest of the day bring? About 1 hour till the next gen broadcast starts. The rest of the day will be 21. Feels like 23, but continued strong winds from the north. Overnight, it'll actually drop to 13 Celsius. Tomorrow, Thursday, 24, feels like 27. A wind from the east at 10 kilometers an hour. That is strange for here. Almost all the wind comes from the north or the west or the southwest. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie coils. And if you're at home and you're from Australia, you know what to do. There's a nice floater. The touch on these discs is fantastic. It's just, this flick just floats out really well. And Australia now hoping to charge and move it, and they're taking it in motion, and very quickly there's a man D here. It's working towards Australia's favor. And the lack of zone is hurting, but the number of passes is getting high. Max with the disc. One cutter deep. It would have been an opportune time. Getting close to the end zone. This is a red zone. Into a vertical stack. Needs to have movement. No risky throws. And it is. Unfortunately floats over. Then in the end zone, where Australia could very easily have taken the game, considering the progress so far, goes to ground. There's some sort of call. I think there was an injury. A lot of folks that are cold and can get cramped up easily. Deep and low, and this is in a bad position for Colombia. But Colombia, much better D now. And it's gonna have to go deep. Oh, high stall count. You can see how difficult it is with the wind. Player in the middle of the field, going out. Max gets the D, using only the body. Oh, and a fantastic layout. Goes for the hook. And Australia are going to have to work it back. They have to go quickly here, but a zone is coming down. Coach on the field. It's between plays, so it doesn't really matter. And this is going to make it more difficult. We saw with the man, it was much easier to move it. There are no breaks, and that's what tends to happen. Another collision. And the problem with these collisions is everyone's cold. Everything hurts because everything instantly just seizes up.
Itself.
Well played.
I'll return it to Home Depot.
And Colombia put that one in. 6-6. And Australia had 2. It's normally that way. Sixes, and Australia had 2 great chances there in the end zone. And the problem is the wind again. I don't think I need to say it, but they did a great job, a phenomenal job to move it up the field that far. It's almost the furthest we've seen. We've seen that drop earlier in the corner of the end zone. Again by Australia, so they've had the best chances to break. And I don't think I need to say it, but for those of you at home, it needs to be said that are newer to the sport. An upwind break by the defense will lead to a downwind break immediately following. You are essentially giving up 2 points by being broken upwind. And by broken, I mean you start out on offense and then you are scored upon. So Australia now on offense, if they were scored upon, Colombia would get the break. What that means now is that the defense will be going downwind and can play a huck and pin strategy. And we've seen that to be very effective. In fact, the last 12 points have been scored using that strategy alone. And we're going to see that again. There's no reason not to do anything but that. Big floater. Oh, just out of the hands. Those need to be caught. But wind gusts up again.
Take the guys. Keep trying, don't worry. Not too far.
Both Australian coaches on this sideline now. And going again with the 4 ladies at the front. It's a strong strategy. Oh, and this one gets out on the sideline. What happened? Oh, it's a turnover. And dropped. Good defensive pressure. There's no reason for the mids to be playing that far in. Absolutely none. And caught on the line, and huge spike. 7-6. See, the mids are trying to prevent the popping to some degree, but the wall does a great job of that. They need to be, they're supporting the deep. As we've seen, the Colombians got 1 deep shot out, and I don't know, either it was dropped or it was caught on the line, but they did get that throw out. And the mids were beat. And if that can happen once, it can happen twice. And you can see where I'm going with that. So our schedule for the rest of the day, following the Japan-Colombia game that's coming up next on Next Gen Network, back on this stream will be Germany versus Colombia in the men's or open division. Still should be called open, as I was reminded. Following that is Next Gen showing Japan versus Great Britain in the open division. And then back on this stream on IM Ultimate will be Switzerland versus Australia in the open division. And then following that will be Colombia versus the United States on the Next Gen Network in the open division. So a women's game and then 4 open games on the streams today as we start to shift our attention away from mixed for just a little bit. Tomorrow's schedule has still not been decided. What you may see on the site is not set, or on the schedule is not set. And the reason for that is that we don't have any mixed games on that schedule. And I want to ensure that we do get something. Break in the middle. Australia opting for men. 8. At 8, big floater. It's going to be a turn. Oh, but great speed by the lady Colombian striker there in the pink shoes. Next Gen crew coming in, getting to sleep in a little this morning. Hi, Ian. Good to see you. Oh, it's a happy crew. Yes, they got a little bit of sleep in. They had a morning game a few days ago. Zone wall from Colombia. Working well. The wind's died down a little bit right now. This could be the break they need. They need to keep moving it quickly before the wind gusts up again. And the wind's coming back. They need to get it back into the midfield. Get into the midfield, Max. Come on. There's 2 cutters deep. This is a handler's game right now. Oh, good hands. And there's a travel called. To those of you from Australia, good evening, good night. If you're watching, shout out to Johnny Mac from me, but also from probably Jack Lilwall. Considered one of the best left-leg handlers in Australia, if not the best. Played with Ring of Fire last year. Oh, threads it through. And Australia with an absolutely huge break. 8-6. This could be the game, folks. Remember, if Australia win, they are directly into the power pools. Colombia needs to win by 5 or more and have Venezuela beat GB in order to go directly in the power pools. They still get the crossover, so that's important. They're a very strong team. The crossover is likely to go well for them, but this is tough. If you are Colombian and you have any of their phone numbers here, you need to send them words of encouragement. This team needs it because there's a tall task now, and that is going and scoring into the wind as well. This is the pressure situation. Now this is going to be tough for Colombia. They have gone upfield before. It's not insurmountable. However, the wind has picked back up again. And suddenly, Australia's sideline energized by some fantastic movement upfield. The wind had died down, but the coup de grace was the towing in on the line, not taking any risks. Taking it to the chest. They need to put it on. They need to put it on. Colombia now, since they're receiving, get to go with 4 gentleman handlers. Violation. That's a movement before the disc came back in. And Colombia now marching. Oh, and this is a floater. And that's what they needed. Australia almost turned it back. Need to huck it. It goes deep. Not going to be an issue. What's the foot speed? Not an issue. Floats down the end, send it into the back of the end zone. Now he's going to huck it. But can he afford to? And the answer is no, they can't afford to, and they don't. And they get a good D. And I take my comment back. They can't afford to huck it. They really can't. This isn't, they're on O. They need this point. Oh, wide open in the end zone. And Australia take half. 9-6. That break led to the second. So, Valentin Vogel, thank you for emailing. Unfortunately, today's schedule is set. And I will see what changes we can try to make later in the day for, say, Austria's game. But I don't see them playing today. For an open, there's a call for Austria versus GB. But at halftime now, I'm going to take a quick break and then come back up to try and get this game underway again. Australia at half lead, 9-6.
Let's get another break! Yeah, boy, Mario, set that up! Let's go! Hey, Maxi, buddy. Yeah, that's it, man. Oigan, Maxi, se hace mucho mejor. Oigan, Maxi, no hay chequeo, no hay chequeo. Timo, it's on time. Stay back, stay back, stay back, stay back. Yeah, Timo!
And we're back here into the second half of this game. Injury call on the D. Or sorry, not injury, but discussion as to what's going on. But the D, foul called. Nine 6 Australia lead. They're on D. Disc is going back. they could not come to a resolution, and like gentlemen and adults, decided to send it back. Pick called. If you're joining us now, thank you. This is an important game for Australia. They win, they're into power pools. Colombia, unfortunately, the wind conditions not in their favor. While there's still time in this game, it looks like they're going to be heading to the crossover match. Later on today on this stream will be Colombia versus Germany Open. Event is on Facebook. It's at 1300, 1 p.m. Eastern time. After the next game, which is by Next Gen. So an interesting sequence going on here. Australia moving through the middle again. To Maxi. He is doing a great job popping, and that's what moves against the zone, a popper movement. And the way that you move against the zone or beat a zone is either you go over the top or you cause the zone to change direction. Oh, and that one rushed. Wasted. Sorry, it's frustrating to see as a handler when all of a sudden there's just a quick throw. And this throw going deep and over, and we'll be rolling to stop middle of the field. There's an opportunity to just pick it up and huck it and just move the disc. And Gary sends it to Max. Max into the middle. Oh, picked up, rescued, and throws well ranged, and Australia break again to start out the half. 10-6. That was a tough point for Colombia. And Colombia still have quite a bit of movement in their step. There's not down. This is now an opportunity for them to figure out the wind. Why? Because this wind is here for the whole day.
Oh yeah, man. Do you have like alcohol what?
That's gonna burn.
And they are a strong team. We've seen them move it well in the wind. And their next game in the mixed division, well, it's not on my schedule for today. So they might just have one game today. And the schedules might start popping up soon as well for the crossovers. And now, as we've seen earlier, with the wind strong again, we're likely to see
Here we go, Bottles! Let's go, Bottles! Yes!
we're likely to see another break, and that's the danger with such a strong wind. If it was a crosswind, we'd have an interesting situation as well, but not quite as lopsided in terms of breaks. And opting to go man D, and a deep hug, and not in, but I think a defensive error by Australia here, not going with a zone. Just stand on the line is essentially what needs to happen. Pick called, upfield. But why isn't there a zone on? I must ask myself here. But a timeout called. 10-6 Australia lead. It's a puzzling decision. We know that Australia with a zone could have gotten the 1-on-1 here. In fact, if they had the chance, it's a tough decision though. We're about to have our power cables run over by a vehicle. Let's find out if they survive. If your screen goes blank and the stream goes away, and we lucked out. We have lucked out. Our power lines have not been cut. Yes, a puzzling decision. Oh, Valentine, I will see what I can do for tomorrow's schedule. Sounds like Austria versus Great Britain. An open might be a really sweet matchup. And the wind tomorrow is supposed to be gentle, half the speed, 10 kilometers an hour, which is great if you're a handler because you can make it move with the wind. And this wind here today is still wonderful if you're an experienced handler, if you happen to play in the wind a lot. It will. Colombia moving it well. And they get an upwind point. That's big. 10-7, likely to become 10-8 very quickly. But the wind dying out, and this seems to happen every once in a while. It's a little bit more gentle now. In the background, you can see Team Japan warming up for their next game. It's a fantastic facility here. Flags of all the nations flying in the distance, and other teams warming up as well. This is going to be a good next match. I have switched something around on the camera. I apologize. I hope the live stream is still going. But I might accidentally have gone into something called manual mode. I hope your stream is still working. Try to fix it between games next. All right, next stoppage. Pull, goes out of bounds, and it's gonna come back in about there. Bandwidth issues still affecting us here. We're going with a slightly lower quality stream. Zone showing here. And a possibility of a throw going straight down the sideline. Collapsing. Oh, and it just skips above her hand. It's one of those where you got to go two hands. Colombia in a very good position now to break. Oh, and Australia gets it back off the sideline. They would prefer to have it off the sideline. Maxi once again driving forward. If Australia score this point, it'll be a big deal. Wind more gentle. There's a pick or travel or something called, but they're playing. It's going to come back towards the middle more. There's a call from the sideline, and it's not on the field. But frustration from the Colombian coaches. Skipped out, and Australia score upwind, and all of a sudden, both teams showing a lot of confidence into the wind. Now we must see a zone coming back the other way. And the wind picks up again. This is unfortunate for Colombia. They've faced more bad wind in this game than Australia. But hopefully it's just a quick gust and then we're okay afterwards.
I need to talk to you about Thursday's schedule. All right, so when, perfect. Upstairs. Thanks, bud.
Just having a quick chat with Ian Brooks, one of the tournament co-directors. Not getting much sleep, any of the tournament directors, but as a former TD, I can tell you that is normal. They've had to deal with more and their lion's shares of issues. The discussion we're going to have next is going to be about tomorrow's schedule. So we're going to try hard to get that Austria versus, that Germany versus Great Britain game. I think that was it, or was it the Austria versus? I have your email. I will absolutely try to get that done. All right, it's the Austria versus Great Britain game. But something more exciting is considered in that time slot. Tournament directors might request that. Or the competition director might request that. And they've been very open to changes so far. Matt Denton, oh, and there's a zone, creates the turn. And Australia in a commanding position now in this game. Timeout called. And at 11-7, we go downstairs to check on how we're doing. We'll be right back here on the IM Ultimate stream, live.imultimate.com. Blue Bottles break with an upline cut, making it 12-7 and extending their lead. Colombia, a little bit despondent at this time, but I think they need to take this in stride. I think they need to work on this win, really, to get confident. It might be gentler later in the day, but it's still there. A little bit tangled up in my wires here, but feeling pretty good now. Weather's starting to warm up. Temperature, sorry, starting to warm up. Weather-wise, our current temperature is 16 Celsius and partly cloudy. It should reach a high of 21 at around 1600 or 4 p.m. today. And the cooler end for the weather we have here, but it's expected after a storm goes through. And we did have a storm move through yesterday. If you were on the stream, you might have noticed a little bit of the wind that we had. Just a little bit. The wind and the rain, especially the rain. And we had to take our stream offline for a few minutes. Fortunately though, no rain expected for the next 2 days. Well, that's a nice floaty pole. The huck goes up, it's not in a good position. Oh, but excellent effort. That's an excellent effort, if I might say. And this zone, looking for options. There's going to be a foul called. Good pressure by Colombia here. We're gonna have to reset. It's opting not to give it to the ladies. But one lady does receive it, but oh, and just easily run through. Great heads up play. And she's open. And just taken at the end. Line called. Next Gen doing some tests down there. That is not one of my cameras. I cannot afford that. Contact again. Frustration. She's yelling at him now, and regardless of frustration, and reaching in, it's not necessarily good, clean play. Oh, good touch there. That's a great D. Travel called. And they're not really going to worry about that much, Australia. They knew that they were beat, that he was going to get the disc anyways. And this is the handler I was speaking about, who I've found to have very good touch in the wind. Typically wears a blue hat for character. He's had excellent flicks going downfield. Trying to figure out which disc it is on the sideline. Oh, and slices through. That's a good result for Colombia. They're getting in a good position. Oh, it's tough. Wind really strong now, and you can see it on the field. Both teams having issues. Puck goes up, and he's under it. And great take. Good play by Colombia. 12-8. Plenty of time still left in this game. About, I don't know, maybe, might be soft cap now.
4 minutes.
4 minutes still soft cap. If Australia score, it'll likely be a game to 15 based on the soft cap. So 12-8 now the score. This is a good game. Speaking about hucks and technicals and the huck and pin, good strategy on the part of both teams. Unfortunately, sometimes there are upwind breaks. I felt like the zone was, in those cases, was collapsing too quickly, and you have to back off and force that side-to-side movement and move that wall rather than going in for the D and trying to get the hand block. And Colombia, an aggressive team, an aggressive play. And they are missing, it appears, 1 or 2 players who are injured. They're also missing a contingent that are at World Games next week. Pull landing near the break. Halden sends it, it's floating. She was hoping it would come in. We got 4 ladies up front. Blade over the top, rolling, and it's gonna be hucked back. It has to be hucked back. Don't wait for it.
Peter, stay deep, Peter, stay deep.
But a zone.
Deeper, Peter, deeper.
Flick huck, the huck and pin. It's a good strategy. Oh, and a good touch, a fantastic D. He was tracking it, got held up, then came back. Once again, 4 ladies up front in this zone. They're going with the big men in the back. Comes over the top. It's going to be coming towards the camera equipment, and it's saved by one of the Next Gen crew members. They are ultimate players, of course.
Hey, sideline! Give sideline!
Once again, a good D. I apologize for missing that a little bit. Folks need to be 3 meters back. I don't know why that everyone is so close. It's not 3 feet, it's 3 meters. And another hockey. This one's coming back in. There's good positioning. There's a battle. Ooh, and it rolls all the way.
Why are the boys all behind? If you get a jacket, we need a boy D.
Oh, and almost taken to the midfield. That would have been a good position. And Colombia here. Oh, collision. Zone needs to go back on. Not worry about what's going on upfield. Blady throw. Lots of trouble moving it into the wind. Zone set up again. This is Rabbit. Needs to take the backhand. The risk with the forehand is that not only the hand block, but if it goes out of bounds there and doesn't come back in, it's a great position. So backhand, the safer throw. Good swing. Into space. Lots. Here's a good battle. Oh, and it taken well. The wind's died down a little bit. It's Blady. Oh. Might sound like a little bit of a spectator, but I am. Needs to get the backhand hook, does. Here's the battle for it in the middle. It's a good battle. The Colombians have typically come on top, and they do again. Backhand or a hook. And it's a little bit floaty. Oh, and bounce. You have to catch your Ds. Swung to the middle. Good attempt. Can take the flick hook here. Hammer. That's interesting. Oh, takes it one-handed. What? That's another Blady pull. And this is a strategy that Huck and Pin is working. And it's working for Colombia as well. Ooh, and a good midfield block on the hammer. Very good position. Timeout called. All right, we right back up. Australia 12, Colombia 8. Colombia in a good position to break, which would then be followed up likely by another break. And that would tighten up the game. good to see good energy from both teams. Calls for play honest. Zone will be set up again. It's a good spot for a zone. Calls for contain it. Crash called, but disc dropping back. Wind gusting. The problem is it's gusting, it's not steady. If it was steady, and these Australian ladies doing very well up front, and they create the turnover. And that was all the ladies putting pressure on the men, being tall and preventing upfield. Getting into technicalities here. So the conversation is here that the player dropped the disc on the line, one of the sideline players, and the Colombians are saying that it's a turnover because you have to leave it at 3 meters. I'm not sure what the rule here is, but
we need that sideline free, guys.
throw goes up. Lots of pressure. Good D. Looking to throw it. Looking to huck it. It's over the top. No issues. Need to hug it, does. And once again, great D. The deep D here for Colombia has been excellent. Big floaty hug. 3 guys underneath it, but the read is phenomenal. And the zone being put back on. Oh, and batted away as well. And this is the issue. Need more wind practice overall, I think. All players involved. Next game, Japan versus Colombia women will be on this field, but on the Next Gen network. You can buy it there. Over the top hammer. Doesn't go to anyone in particular other than defender. It's short. Taken well. It's going to be up.
Stay with him. Stay with him.
Looking to dump it. Oh, and just centered, unfortunate. And a floaty throw. Being boxed out. And there's a call. Hey, Tony Leonardo watching from Cali, Colombia. He's there for World Games rather than being here. There's it appears an injury as well in the middle of the field. So a small medical timeout. They're calling for medical. Just very quickly on the radio. Yes, it's very windy here, Tony. It's probably gonna be windy throughout the day, and that is an issue.
second game we got today, guys? Hey, Vin. What's the second game?
The remainder of the day will be open games on our network on live.imultimate.com. She's walking off. A little bit of assistance, but nonetheless walking off. That's important. Winds will be calmer tomorrow. And towards in the evening, it's actually going to start being a little bit more calm. But throughout the day, it's going to stay strong. And going to huck it to the middle. Not a huck, but a good line drive. Give her options. Wow, dropped right by the line. This is it's a good pass. It's number 92 downfield, has been phenomenal in the air, has been phenomenal on the ground. And number 94, very good on D. A big floaty, and there's going to be an air battle here. Oh, and a collision. Everyone seems to be okay though, thankfully. Australia gonna huck and pin it again. Soft cap is on. This game's going to be 2-14, maybe 15. Depends on who scores. Trying to be a bit more careful, but eventually the huck goes out to the side. So you can see the Colombian women warming up. And we'll have a shot of the Japanese ladies next. Oh, and dropped in an unfortunate position. It's going to be men. Lots of free players. They're actually going with just one gentleman in the end zone, stack of 4. Lots of space to operate in, but even more dangerously, space over the top. And Australia make it 13 on a long point, 13-8. As I've said, Colombia has had far less trouble scoring downwind than Australia. Game is to 15. There's the Japanese women in a huddle as well, getting instructions. What we've seen from the Japanese, and this happened yesterday, is the upset, I believe, between Austria and Japan in open, and the wind negated the speed and handling advantage that Japan has. It's the same thing we saw at Worlds last year in Osaka. I think it was there. Yes, I believe it was there. And what we saw there was Sweden using their height advantage to really push for the deep hucks and getting the deep hucks. And that could lead to a very interesting game coming up. But we've seen a lot of folks having trouble with the wind the last few days, so might be an interesting game, might be a bit of a drag. Let you decide. If you've already purchased your pass for Next Gen's full coverage, well, then you get that game for free. If not, you might have to purchase it, but why not come back and join us here at 1300 Eastern Time after their game, where we'll have our next match, which will be Germany versus Colombia Open, I believe. Good man. Oh, and in and out of his hand. And they're just refocusing that player, the coaches from the sideline. Getting him back into the deep position. Oh, and a good snag. Rescue of not the best thrown disc, but even the best throw in this weather being affected. Down called, and it is oh, and it's popped over the top. You can see how windy it is there. Just from how the hats are flying off. There are gusts of wind down there. Just barely caught and controlled. And a good D there. You could see that coming. Just tracking. There's a big. And a great get. And this has been the story that we've seen all day. Score now 13-9. Australia leads, but Colombia simply better in the air. And preferring to play the body. Whereas Colombians, used to a lot of contact, are doing a great job of working through that pressure and grabbing the disc. So two different styles of play on defense. Game to 15. Still lots of time left today in this match. Game's supposed to be an hour and a half in the time slot, but wind always seems to make these games a little bit longer. Actually, I think there might be 2-hour slots. You can see it on the schedule on altiapps.com/WU23. And if you haven't seen it, the Score Reporter version has also been released, and it works off of USA Ultimate's Score Reporter and wraps around it, so to speak. Stefan moving the line back, making sure his team's going to have space to operate in. That pole, as you can see, shorter passes, and dropped in the end zone. It's tough. You can see the flags in the top right of your screen. Absolutely screaming. No call. And it's coming all the way back to the corner, and that's the danger in being trapped on the line. Crowded end zone. One player being cleared. Center. Still stuck on the line. Good poach. And Australia make it 14. Slightly easier offensive effort. 14-9, game to 15. And the offense doing well. Colombia's offense rushing back onto the field. They want to get this point, and they will. They're confident that they can do their jobs. But as I spoke earlier, essentially both teams are playing defense. Thank you to everyone who's messaged in. We'll be shutting down our stream after this game. Please be sure to come back and join us. We'll have it up and running a little bit earlier. Fantastic grab in the air. And Colombia, 14-10. Now this is it. They need 5 breaks in a row to win. Considering the way that they have been playing, they can do it. They do have, as it appears, air superiority. Australia can put this away right here and book a spot in the power pools with 1 point. They need 1 point in the next 5. And the game is over.
Yeah, there's just one. I can put them on my phone.
All in all, a very clean game, I can say, for both sides. Few foul calls, few discussions. You'll notice that the front of the end zones, the goal line, is painted on now. It was tape earlier. I had mentioned that a few days ago, or yesterday. And a few folks had tripped on it.
Vamos Colombia!
Good pull. This one is probably the furthest upwind pull that we've seen. Tricky there. You can see the handler thinking about the upfield for the down. Good movement. Not wanting to risk it. And now it does now. This is not going to be, oh, almost fell right into her hand. And this pull coming towards the camera here. And hits the old Next Gen tent.
We got this, Jose!
And hand it off.
Tommy, line!
Oh, and this a good midfield position. But it's going to be blading. Oh my goodness, and grab. Fantastic grab. And Colombia in a great position. It's typically where we've seen the weakness. It's that big gust of wind right there. Unlucky. Huck and pin should be the order of the day, and it is. And it comes back in. But it came back in, and yet they're calling it on the sideline there. It's going to be on the cone. It's coming back in, and it's caught. Fantastic. It's called travel.
Yes, Peters. Hey, YX, go.
And we're going to see a hug sometime. Lady over the top. Shouldn't be an issue. Offense has got to collapse. If it's in the end zone, you've got to come in. Sorry, a little bit frustrated here from the top, but a lot of small errors by both sides. But that's why it's U23s. It's a chance for the youth to get complained about by the adults who make the same errors. Yes, we all make the same errors. Oh, that's another pull, but the confidence in the air that the Colombians have had. Oh, hand block. He's looking. Why aren't you hucking it to me? He's there. He's trying every time. Good morning to everyone that just woke up. It's a wonderful day here at York. A little bit windy, slight breeze, but causing a lot of issues for many teams. This one's going to be taking easily for a D. Zone being set up again. 4 ladies, Australia. Hoping to pressure turns, and they are. Saying it never came in. Everyone agrees. One option deep. Breaking to the middle, confident. And that's the game. And hug at the end. 15-10, Australia wins over Colombia. They are now into the power pools. Colombia probably heading to a crossover. This is a high-scoring affair considering the wind we had in the cold. Well played by both teams. Yes, there were errors, but it's late in the game. And they are, both teams, having a tough day here. I think we can look forward to quite a bit from both teams. We're going to take a break now. We'll be back in a couple hours, 2 hours, just before 1300 local time. So in about an hour and 45 with the live stream for the open division between Colombia and I believe Team Germany. But now you can turn over to the NGN Ultimate and get over to their network to watch Colombian women take on the Japanese ladies. This is Tushar Singh signing off for I Am Ultimate from Under 23 World Championships at York University in Toronto.
Bigger circle.